Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another recording of MTG Arena. Today is Monday, October 22nd. So in the previous episode I just recorded, the game had a network issue and it just sat there on that network issue. So I guess going forward I should make a real effort to make sure I know what I'm doing. Interesting. This needs 1,000 XP. Each level does. And yet I'm at 250. Where? I guess maybe that's because of this reward system. Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. I got a pack in the last recording. 2 packs. There's no reason not to open these packs. Like, unlike Hearthstone, I am in no position where I can sit on packs. I need as many cards as possible, as fast as possible. Anything that even slightly helps me, I think would be useful. Particularly since I think a multicolored deck might be the best move I could do to just have one deck that rules them all. And yeah, we're getting more wild cards. I'm still looking for feedback and comments if I should make the special land cards with the wild cards. I think that's the right move. Time has run up on a lot of the play games, so right now all we have is ranked draft of Throne of Eldron. There is something nice about how this is programmed though, where they've got a art piece here that is full widescreen. In fact, I imagine this image would even fit over here if it wanted to be over there. And actually the image is like way taller and it just has an opacity layer. Where you see the background. So I imagine this image is way bigger, but also this image could get squished down to being half the screen and you would still see the image if you just cut this bottom half, or a quarter of the screen if you just wanted to show the troll himself, or a third of the screen maybe. Third of the screen wouldn't work perfectly well, but if you put the text over that part it would still work. So yeah, they've, what is that called? I think that's called responsive website design or responsive rescaling. Something I would call it responsive rescaling or dynamic rescaling. I'm still so gun shy about discarding and mulliganing any cards. Alright. Whenever you gain life, put 1/1 counter. Whenever you gain life, put 1/1 counter. Whenever you gain life, do that. So 2/2 or 1/1 with double strike. This is better. Meanwhile, we were going through games, so let's hop back into it. There's not much other setup that needs to be said. Lifelink +2/+2. So no attacks. These adventure cards, I'm still not sure how they work, in all honesty, but I think we'll figure it out eventually. Okay. So if he can't kill this character, then we're gonna be in trouble. Moving on, we have a game on Steam here called Hooks and Shotguns. Looks like it's a low-effort platformer student project game. It's $4.99, no discount. That's a joke. Third-party EULA also. Complete and total joke there. Is there anything I want to defend here? Nope, I'm just gonna let him block me. Play this. Alright, cycle. Power up, power up. So now we've got a... Do I want to attack right now? So yeah, that low effort name, Hooks and Shotguns. Alright, so I'm gonna do some straight up e-begging right now. Looking here on Steam, A Hat in Time is not in my collection. I'm logged in and everything. It's just on my wish list. The Ultimate Edition is what I would generally want to be gifted. I'm covering ukulele right now, so it would be really nice to be able to play this. But after having to buy a new video card, I'm not in the financial position to be buying really any games. In all fairness, the Ultimate Edition I think comes with a soundtrack and a B-side soundtrack. The only thing I really would need would be this Seal the Deal DLC, which is, I believe is actual gameplay DLC, and then the Nazakusa Metro and Online Party DLC, I think is actual gameplay DLC too. But by the time you add these two DLCs together, you're paying more than paying the entire Ultimate Bundle, because this would be $30. Yeah, it's easier just to buy the Ultimate Bundle and get the soundtracks. So that's my gift request for today. I don't do this too often, but yeah, it sometimes happens. Let's see. Target creature gains this. Where was the guy with double strike? Is anything gonna be able to block me? Not really. I had a card with double strike. Here it is. But that wouldn't have been the best move to try and play that. Alright, next, if I had more mana I could play this, but I can't. So, yeah. Moving on with the news, though. It's destroying all my minions. I don't think you can play enough minions to destroy everything I've got. Monolith Productions is in its 25th anniversary, and it's just kind of tweeting up a storm of games that they created. And, you know, some of the games they created 25 years in its 25-year history is kind of great. Like, here's some concept art of The Condemned, which The Condemned is a super scary horror game. Condemned 2, I don't think I got around to playing. In fact, The Condemned is like the only video game I've ever actually played that was scary to me and scared me even for a second. They also did Fear, and at least Fear 1. So they're doing a Halloween theme type gameplay or type stories. This. Taking too long to play. Oops. I'm still gonna win. So I don't know what the strategy. I don't know what the strategy was there. I still won, but he blocked for 2. Anyways. And we're sticking with things that win until they stop winning, and then we're moving over. Monolith apparently also made, well, it's a whole collection here. Fear 2, Destroy All Humans, I believe that might be what that game is. Or I don't even know what some of these are. If we could, can we get the image bigger? Not really. No One Lives Forever and No One Lives Forever 2. Aliens versus Predators 2. Let's see. Tron 2.0. Just a lot of stuff here that's of some slight interest. It would be a lot nicer in their 25th anniversary though if they were re-releasing some of these games or remastering some of these games. Apparently there was a game just called Blood. But they're not saying anything like that at all. So you have to take that for a grain of salt. They did make Shadow of War, which is probably the sequel to Shadow of War, would be their most recent success. I guess Shadow of War is the sequel. It was Shadow of Mordor before then. And I think at this point they stopped celebrating. That I've scrolled down past the point where they started showing off some of their other projects. Yeah. So yeah, they've got this kind of Twitter celebration they're doing, which is a little educational. If you had told me that the developers of Shadow Mordor were also the developers of Condemned Criminal Origins 1 and 2, I really wouldn't have believed you so much. I'm not that skeptical, but I would find that very strange, to say the least. Let's see, next we have a game on Steam here called Muriel Saga, which looks to me like it might be an effort to make a JRPG or even a Persona-esque game, but there is a kind of lack of polish here. So I don't know if you can get something like Persona on PC and it be a little lackluster and still sell because Persona is not on PC. This looks like an action JRPG, but it also kind of looks like an asset flip. It's early access, $6.99. It says it has English full audio. It says it's rated M for a myriad of reasons: cartoon violence, sexual content, sexual themes, strong language, and alcohol references. So, I guess the question here is, this something like a yandere simulator type game that could be something, or but probably won't, or is this just straight up a troll game? Because I honestly don't believe that Yandere Simulator, as a comparison, is a troll game. I'll put Muriel Saga on the follow list. He kind of shot himself in the foot though. Like, if this is you showing your best original presentation, looks like an asset flip, it looks low quality. Even if this majorly improved, I've kind of seen it now, and I imagine even by the time I do a follow list cleanup, it'll still not look particularly good. Let's see. Enchanted creatures get +3/+3, and it has flying. There we go. Next. Just that one. Speaking of Yandere Simulator, like, he put out a new post, but I didn't watch it. I haven't watched any of his new posts in probably 3 or 4 months. Because, frankly, it kind of doesn't matter what he has to say. Like, either he announces the game is available and it gets reported by everybody that this game is finally out in a final version, or he just does his same old shenanigans. There we go. Steal my card, I'll disable my card. Let's see. Moving on. I suspect one of the things that we'll have to keep an eye on is just how often Magic the Gathering codes come out. They don't seem to come out as often as I would have thought they would. But I haven't really been playing that long. 2-3 weeks. Next, we have a game on Steam here called The Volcano, which looks like a pixel graphic, low effort game, super dark. Yeah, looks like MS Paint graphics. $1.39 discounted. English and Turkish. That's a weird combination of languages. And I don't think a lot of United States people are going to be super happy with playing a game in Turkish, since they're not particularly happy with Turkey as a country right now. We don't have to really jump into that news too much though, because it really doesn't have anything to do with video games, or much to do with video games, unless somebody can tell me it does. I don't know how it would. So we have this here, and then attack. It's down to 6. Next we have Hello Neighbor Alpha 4 on Steam. They really are doing something weird with this by putting all the different versions of alphas on free on Steam and trying to use that as an advertisement for their new game, Secret Neighbor. but seems like it's kind of working. And I would say probably Hello Neighbor is the one game in which this kind of makes sense more than anything else, because I believe that the streamers who were playing Hello Neighbor probably did play through each and every alpha, and the alphas were somewhat different. So Alpha 4 is out, Alpha 3, Alpha 2. They're staggering these releases every couple of days. Alpha 1, yeah. Pre-alpha. Just like every single version. And then here's Secret Neighbor Beta. Again, maybe Valve should put their foot down on something like that and say, heck, we're not going to allow you to flood our storefront with alphas and betas. That is not the appropriate way that versions should be used inside of Steam. Steam has an internal options where you could sign up for, you can use a beta version if it's available to the public, or there are also codes you can give, I think, to allow that to happen. Might as well just not attack, because there's nothing I can do. This wall. What just happened? I wish there was a way I could stay on the screen and read. I don't know what they did right then to cause me to lose 12 health. That seems extremely high. Moving on, TechRaptor has an article. Warriors Orochi 4 Ultimate gets another non-Warriors character. I don't think there's a lot I want to say about a Warriors game, but apparently they're getting Yang Xin, if that interests you. Seek out more information, I suppose. Like, Warriors games are so button mashy that I would never be able to play them, because I have a little bit of arthritis in my fingers that flares up here and there. Playing ukulele, the controls are so floaty that I could see myself getting a bunch of arthritis from that, but I have yet. Let's see. Just gonna keep on scrying. So I've set myself up to scry twice and draw cards. So I've got some major deck manipulation. So, do I want that? Yes, I do. Do I want to use that ability? No, I don't. Gain a life when Scoured Barrens enters the field. It is a black-white mana land. And just auto-resolve here. Next we have a game here on Steam called Warbrush, which is a low-effort Warriors clone, it looks like. Player versus player, top-down. Warlords clone, I believe is the game I'm thinking about. $4.24 discounted English. We're having a rush here of bad, games that are really expensive, which is strange, to say the least. Does hexproof? Let's see. I don't think Hexburst stops Death Touch. But it was just a guess. Target creature gets +3/+3. I don't know if there's a reason why I would want to give +3/+3 till the end of the turn. I want to attack. These have Death Touch too, so everything I could attack with is Death Touch. Could be blocked by a Death Touch creature. So he's playing a very heavy Death Touch strategy. Right. Tech Raptor has an article here. Next Sim 4's expansion has been leaked. Seems like maybe it's a college group. Yeah, this is Sims 4 Discovery University. Seems like, yeah, this is a collection of college kids. Still not really interested in The Sims, but okay, I'm sure there are some people out there that are. So I don't want to defend, and anything he hits can kill my characters. So how do I do that to stop this from happening? What is the strategy here? It would be play more characters, have more characters on the field, or have spells to destroy these characters. I can't activate that because it doesn't have a counter on it. Alright, I can do this. So if I pass here, choose blockers here, block, then place this here. Now we've got something. Other creatures have trample. Is that my only option? Hydra spells cost significantly less. So let's scry here. Put that on the bottom. And sure, why not? So we have a Vigilance card with Death Touch, and we'll do no attacks right now, but if I give everything else trample, then it stops being something I need to worry about. I'll have to be careful, though. I'll have to count the numbers directly. And maybe even figure out the order. Let's see, Death Touch, no block this time. Play that. Play that. Vigilance, fight. When two creatures fight each other, non-combat damage equals the power to the other. I don't know if this is really gonna work. this card? Let's see. Deals 3 damage. And then whenever a creature you control becomes the target of spell, fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So do I seriously have to fight this guy? So fight apparently doesn't resolve as a death touch thing. Interesting. Do we need spells? No. I'm kind of good on land, so we can just put all of those at the bottom. Was that an indication that we just specifically fought or drew 3 lands at the same time, or is this kind of glitched and we drew the same card the same time 3 times? Always shows a way to look at the bottom of your deck, but I think there's actually cards that say you can look at the bottom of your deck, but that's kind of it. Bottom. Done. And done. I guess that is an indication that it isn't the same card, otherwise it would have just been land, land, land. Wouldn't. But I just have like every choice. Although may have some problems with we may have some problems with the number of cards we have. Next we have a game on Steam here called Cartoon Creeds, which looks like it's a 3D asset flip platformer, coin collector, infinite runner game. It's early access, $5.99 English, full audio Russian also, so it's probably a low effort Russian game. Again, $5.99 discounted. And yeah, nothing here. Particularly since I'm playing ukulele right now, the idea of playing an even worse collectathon style game, if that's really what this would be, which I don't think it is super unappealing. Because I honestly thought that ukulele was going to be a good game. Like, it didn't strike me as one that was going to be mediocre. Does this have death touch? No, as menace. So attack. You defend if you want. You should have defended there, actually. By the way. I'm not sure what his strategy has been, but it doesn't seem like it's been great. Just gives him flying. Other creatures we have was trample. We'll just hold on to that. So you can see our green cards as a strategy are just really, really strong cards. I don't know why he didn't want to block something there, but he's gonna pay for that dearly. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't block before. Next article we have from TechRaptors, Saber Interactive acquires Big Moon Entertainment. So, I think we may have already talked about this in the last stream. Saber has been behind several major releases, the World War Z, the Ghostbusters video game remaster, Call of Cthulhu, Switch ports for Call of Cthulhu, Witcher 3, and Vampire. So, when you just release something like the Ghostbusters video game remastered, my suspicion is that they didn't have any new projects, and it seems like they're mostly a porting company, and so if they're not getting any new projects, they don't have any new income. So they probably were seeking out acquisition because of that, in part. But yeah, I don't know what else to really say there. Let's just hit these. These all have trample. Yeah, I guess there's not really much more to say other than there was very little chance that there was going to be another Ghostbusters video game. There's maybe a little bit of a chance, but not a lot. Right. So, how does this work? Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell, fight somebody else. Okay, good enough. So, give the weakest card here a spell, or just wait for him to give up. And that works too. And we're getting cards. Like, you definitely get more cards here in free to play than what you got in Hearthstone. Right? Because Hearthstone, you constantly had to save up your gold, and you can see I'm at like 1200 gold. I probably could be wasting that on packs. That'd be like 12 more packs. But I suppose what I should do is just save my gold until the next expansion happens, which will be a long time from now. I think 3-4 months, maybe. I think it was something like 90 days. So short, just a little bit less than 90 days from now will, I think, be the next expansion. I could be wrong about that. People could tell me in the comments if they know the exact number. But yeah. So next expansion, if I had like 50,000 gold, that would be 50 packs to open. I don't know if 50 packs is a reasonable or unreasonable amount of packs to open. I suspect in Magic the Gathering terms, it's probably a rather small amount. Okay, what is this? This has just deals 1 damage to everybody. Next story we have, Diablo 4 may have been leaked by an upcoming art book. The cynical among us may say quote-unquote leaked, because this, as the BlizzCon event is about to happen in about a week, I think Activision Blizzard may be desperate to change the news cycle and get away from controversies of their own making. And I don't think they're going to really succeed too well there. Is this going to be a mistake? This is a red-black deck, so he probably could cast some kind of spell on me. The cell phone game I'm playing is in the middle of a what they call Ragnar event, which which just means there's a lot of gameplay that needs to be played. And because of that network snafu I had, it doesn't want to play itself anymore. Yeah, the cell phone game I'm playing, Destiny Child, is being taken over by its original creators, which is a Korean company, and the Korean version of the game for free-to-play players is a lot worse, so I'm a little concerned that this is going to be a scenario where this could be an event. Do 9 damage and just waste the cards in the hopes to demoralize. So yeah, there might be a point where I get away from that. Otherwise, I'm doing really good on it. I have like nearly a complete collection on everything I think I could have had. I missed an early collab. They're doing a collab right now with Catherine Full Body, and I got all of the collab characters like on the first pull, which is insane, and I can only assume was some kind of glitch. So I'm now building up crystals, which is the premium currency that you can grind to get. And building up a buffer for the next big event. Next, all attack. It's kind of nothing you can do if he's not going to put anything on the field. If all you can do is play land and play land and spells, I think I might be able to outdo him. Anyways, we were talking about this story. Yeah, Diablo 4 may have been leaked by an upcoming art book. I see a picture here. That's pretty much it. Yeah, so what would that really mean though? Like, kinda nothing. Other than they really needed that to happen anyways last year, because the whole Diablo Immortal shenanigans happened last year, and with no announcement of Diablo 4, and that's really where that should have happened. There we go. Now he's down to 5. But let's say they do announce Diablo 4 at BlizzCon this year, amongst people protesting like crazy and not really being happy to be there. And a lot of people are not going to be happy to be there. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people just don't bother to show up. I can't imagine that there's a great way that BlizzCon doesn't end in some new controversy happening. So if they come out on stage at the very beginning and said, first of all, we're sorry, and second of all, Diablo 4, Diablo 4, and new Overwatch 2, just like try to announce as much as possible and build as much hype as fast as possible. If they didn't say we're sorry on the in the initial first 5 minutes, a lot of people are going to not care about anything else they have to say. But then, if they are just going to stick with what they're doing, then they probably should not say that they're sorry. So a planeswalker has an interesting side inability. It doesn't have the ability to act as a blocker. So that is something to take. Yeah, just resolve. Yeah, any movement at all. See, target opponent may have risk factor deal 4 damage to them. If the player doesn't, you draw 3 cards. So resolve. Risk factor deal 4 damage. If you decline, draw 3 cards. I'll take the take 4 damage. And then what is this?
The more, the messier.
Let's see. Still didn't win for him. Doesn't feel like we're going up two little bits every time we win. It could be because we're moving backwards and forwards. Royal Scions, Planeswalkers. I think that's a really good card, relatively speaking. And again, anytime we get a pack right now, it doesn't make sense not to open these. True Lover's Kiss. Sir Allen, the Lion's Claw. Festive Funeral. Tempting Witch. So I guess where this boils down to is Friday in particular, we're going to have to try a constructed. So we do that constructed on Friday. That should give us more cards. At that point, I'm going to, after that constructed play, have to think about modifying my decks and making some changes. I don't really know what to do or change, but we'll try. And I suppose that's kind of all we can do, is try and see what happens. Yeah, but as for BlizzCon, I don't see how you get people back on your side without apologizing. In fact, you might as well get on stage and as professionally and kindly as possible start it by going, first of all, we have disassociated ourselves with Tencent. Tencent is no longer our partner, and even that would probably not be enough. It would have to be a straight, sincere apology. Meanwhile, the controversy now approaching 3 weeks. We have a TechRaptor article here. Blizzard postpones the World of Warcraft 15th anniversary event in Taiwan. I imagine Blizzard is going to postpone every single event in Taiwan, in particular as Taiwan is one of the other countries that China is claiming ownership of, like Hong Kong. And the Taiwanese people are not happy about that, to say the least. So, yeah. And every time I put a card like this, I wish there was a way to right-click a card and then say, let's not... I'm not going to activate this ability, so don't ask me to resolve this ability ever. Until I toggle that. Like a ability toggle here, if there was just a way to click something. Like, because some of this you can toggle. I know you can, but some of this, not so much. Let's see. Meanwhile, we have a Gamma Sutra article that just keeps on pouring for Activision Blizzard. Legislators condemn actions against Hearthstone Pro and in letter to Activision Blizzard. Yeah, for a second there I thought it was condemn actions of the Hearthstone Pro, but no, it's against the Hearthstone Pro. The thing I want to mention here is it was signed by Senator Ron Wyden, Democratic from Oregon, and Mark Rubio, Republican from Florida, along with AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat from New York, Mike Gallagher, Republican from Wisconsin, and Tom Malinowski, Democrat from New Jersey. So, five people came together, 5 senators. Probably didn't have a clue what Blizzard or Hearthstone was in the first place, but they took the extra efforts to be educated by their interns, I'm sure, who were playing Hearthstone, I imagine, to be told, yeah, this is a bigger controversy than that would seem at first sight. Next, all attacks, attack. Neither one of these have trampled, that's the thing I would like. Let's see, next we have a game on Steam here called Drunk Ride, which looks like a terrible top-down racer game. Yep. Nothing visually appealing with that. Discounted to 59 cents. At the very least, if it's a bad game and it's 59 cents, it's not as bad as the $5 games we've been seeing. English only, 7 achievements. Somehow compared to Pinball Arcade. I don't know why. I would think that there's a real comparison there. Next, we have a game on Steam called Ed It, which looks like it's a MS Paint pixel graphics platformer with some elements in which you edit the levels live. And then they're celebrating this game as it was made in 9 days. That's not a celebration. It is free, so I guess the price is right if this was just a Game Jam game, although a Game Jam game that took 99 days is actually rather long, but certainly not something that needs to be on Steam. What is this? Vigilant, Death Touch, Haste. Let's see. Can't be blocked by creatures with power of 2 or less. Combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. Whenever Questing Beetle deals combat damage to an opponent, it does that much damage to the target planeswalker that player controls also. Let's just resolve everything. It's playing some major strategy. So this guy can block this guy, that's pretty much all it can do. Does this have vigilance? No. Although frankly, why not just block this guy? Gamma Sutra has the same article here. Big Moon Entertainment acquired by World War Z developer Saber Interactive. What is this, guys? Whenever you cast a spell creature that has an adventure, draw a card. Edgewall Innkeeper. That's an interesting comparison here. Here's who would be the innkeeper in Magic compared to the innkeeper in Hearthstone, and boy, does this not look like a guy you'd want to hear much speech from. I wouldn't want to hear him talking too often. Death Touch, no. So either I let him do the damage or I lose, and I lose either way, so I might as well just go with it. Next, attack. But you don't really have a need for you really don't have a need for an event or for a game like Magic's Arena to not be effectively an arena where people come to fight each other instead of being an inn, which doesn't really even make a lot of sense in the World of Warcraft universe. I don't think World of Warcraft players spend a ridiculous amount of time in the inn. So they tried to tie it into some kind of canon, but really just confused the issue, when it would have been a lot easier if Hearthstone was just the card game equivalent of playing World of Warcraft and you were just fighting creatures like you normally would, instead of pushing the narrative and pushing the background story that all the good guys and bad guys of World of Warcraft come to the inn and play this card game that is based off of the experiences of their lives, which was weird. I have no idea why he needs to play this much just to win, but whatever. Next we have a game on Steam, Pixel Puzzle 2 Halloween, so we're gonna probably see more puzzle, low effort jigsaw puzzle games come out as the holidays approach. $6.49 discounted is too expensive for what this is. 25 puzzles between 60 to 350 pieces, which is kind of a small number. Let's see. Gamma Sutra has an article here. Unity is raising the Pro and Plus prices for new subscriptions. Developers with existing subscriptions won't be affected by the change, but those that sign up, add additional seats, or renew expired custom agreements after January 1st, 2020 will end up with a little bit extra price. The current monthly rate for Unity Pro is increasing from $125 to $150, while Unity Plus will raise from $35 to $40 a month. These both seem like they are probably services not directly around the licensing fee of licensing the game and selling the game, as much as they are around the concept of using Unity to program and develop. So it's like it's an Adobe subscription, it seems like. Whereas Unity still, for most people, will either be free if your game is small enough, or will be somewhere around 10 to 20% of your sales if your game is big enough. I think that was the licensing on that end. I have no idea why it took him so long to just take his victory. We're just teetering back and forth on gold tier. But we're getting things done, so can't really complain. And we're learning the cards. Next bit of story we have is THQ Nordic has established a new Japanese subsidiary. This is to handle distribution, public relations, and marketing, I assume, of games that are going to be focused specifically towards, there we go, free victory. It's always nice. I imagine these are going to be the releases of games focused specifically towards the Japanese market. It'd be kind of silly to have THQ Nordic, which I think, at least at the beginning, now it's a Hydra now, but at least originally it was kind of a Swedish country, I believe, a Nordic country of some sort. So it'd be very weird for them to establish a worldwide marketing branch in Japan. It's a little weird to do anything in Japan, as they just had like a big tsunami, and then before that they had a big tsunami, and before that they had a big tsunami. It seems like it's not the safest place to try and start a business or build a new office. Let's see. Yeah, it even says here, it will handle distribution, public relations, and marketing for titles from THQ Nordic and handy games for the Japanese market. If I were to go through the long list of games that THQ Nordic has put out recently, I don't think any of them strike me as games that would have been particularly Japanese friendly. Like the SpongeBob SquarePants re-release, probably not super Japanese friendly games, and Darksiders 3 didn't sell well particularly anywhere. Right, so when you're gonna play red, you've got to slow play it. Seems like that's the case. Right. This here. And then this here, and then this here, and then attack. I really wanted THQ Nordic to not just become THQ again and try and flood the market with terrible games or kids games. I thought that I really wanted them to become a successful finisher of the Darksiders series and release AAA games that are very polished and done well. And unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like that's gonna happen. They could turn over a new leaf, but I don't think that's gonna happen, because the fact that they're changing their name from Nordic Games to THQ Nordic to eventually THQ, we know that's where this is all going, kind of shows that they don't have any interest in learning from the past. Okay. What's next? Next. Is this guy gonna play? Attack, attack. So is this guy gonna block? Each player draws X amount of cards. Each opponent puts a number of cards equal to the number of cards in their hand on top of their library into the graveyard. That'd be an interesting card to play. Let's see, ability. Ability. There we go. Let's see. Next we have an article from Gamatsu. Love Plus Every launches October 31st in Japan. It's for smartphones. It's a dating game. Although, seems like it's going to be a gacha game. Interesting. I don't know if there's enough room in my life to play 2 gacha games. And the thing about Destiny Child and this is that Love Plus seems like it's going for more realistic, regular girl next door characters, where Destiny Child is you are a demon, you're collecting these demonic monstrosities that you're creating, and so the characters are very wild, very different, and often very scantily clad. And it lets them go in fun ways with the story and silly ways. And it's not like a super gory or horrific game. It's cartoony about the demon aspect, but it's there. It adds a level of supernatural that I bet Love Plus Every does not have an opportunity to go into. Frankly, I've become a walking billboard for Destiny Child, and just because I'm enjoying it still. And whereas like Clash Royale, completely stopped playing that. Adventure Town, completely stopped playing that. Klepto Kittens, Klepto Cats 1 and 2, completely stopped playing that. Let's see, is there anything I want to do here? No. Just resolve. Right. It's 4 damage and then 2 damage. So I can just do that. And all attack and attack. So I'm 1 damage short. I was 1 damage short. That's all I needed. But he beat me. Alright, finally we have a game on Steam here that's just in a bunch of Asian characters. This looks like this is a Chinese dress-up game. It's tagged sexual content and RPG. I don't know if that's the case, but I guess it says there's some nudity in here. What you can take from this in particular, yeah, definitely some sexual content. And this is, these are a very tall, kind of out of scale art style. This dress, for instance, is like really high up above her knees. Her knees and legs are super long, and this is really poofy. Here you have one in a sailor schoolgirl outfit, but then the character in no way looks like they would be at the appropriate age to be wearing one of those outfits. So it's just cosplay and dress up. English language is not supported for this game, unfortunately. It's $8.49 discounted, and it's all Chinese. So I wouldn't be surprised, and this would be my concern about any kind of Chinese game like this that's adult in nature. I suspect heavily that you're not actually going to be able to see too much. By the way, PewDiePie apparently is banned in China, or I don't know if he was trolling on that or not. That people are just like liking tweets and getting automatically blocked by the Great Firewall China. So they're definitely doubling down as much as possible with as much censorship as possible against the Hong Kong protests. Well, we have, let's see, right now 7 of 15 daily rewards, which I'm not really in the point where I'm going to be playing the daily rewards off screen anymore. Like, I did that for like one day and then quickly realized it's not really worth my time. We have to wait another 15 hours until we'd have any more daily quests that would then give us any more experience towards leveling up this. And we're at 7 of 8 of the weekly rewards, which we'd absolutely get that. Mastery wise, our current level is here at level 28, and I feel fairly confident that we have a good chance of making it to a certain point here. The calculation I heard is you probably will make it to this level 100 if you just do all the daily quests and re-roll and try. But there's not a huge guarantee that you'll make it to, say, 110 or further. I don't know if there really is even a way to make it to 110 or further, considering the fact that you're limited here by the daily quests. That's the only way you can get XP and the weekly requests. So everybody's expansion mastery is going to kind of just level out as far as the set mastery. The only thing I could say is when the next set expansion happens, that would be the point to buy that next set expansion. Just day 1, day 0, you kind of need to buy it, or you can wait till you're close to the end. It turns out. So actually I could have just been at level say, let's see, how far would this go? 92, is that where it stops? If you get to level 92 on the free to play part, you could then I could just boost too so you can just straight up cheat this. And so if I spent 1600 dust right now, I would get 1400 dust back. It almost pays for itself. I did not realize you could boost it. So 2500 dust if you need to boost it. That's very gambly, but it might be worth it. I wish you could go back and boost the previous expansion though, but I don't think that's going to happen, so whatever. Of course, you're getting a lot of the Eldraine packs. Well, that was a revenue. You're getting a lot of these packs, so once this gets rotated out, everything you get from this has a decent chance of not being playable in standard. So the core set expansion in particular would be your #1 place you would want to spend that money if you do actually need a boost to try and get everything in this game, which maybe you do. I wouldn't be surprised if you do. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Right now I'm begging for people to gift me the Ultimate Collection of A Hat in Time. I'd really like to cover that game and haven't purchased it yet. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.